Welcome to Going Primitive. My name's Jeremy, and these are some flowers that are growing out here. But we got a little bit of a video to do. This is going to be part one of my little build. I'm going to discuss what I'm trying to build, and I'm going to show you what I've gotten done so far. I am experimenting around with, trying to record with my cell phone while I'm working to get some video that way. However, my phone does auto shut off after, I leave it alone a little bit. I got to figure out how to turn that off. Because when it shuts off, then it takes the video and just ends it, and I can't just like pause it, pause and play, or pause and record. And I really want to, demonstrate what I'm doing. Anywho's, I just thought those flowers were pretty over there. No idea what they're called. Certain somebody knows. I'll have to ask around. There's some more flowers. Out here, the prairie changes a lot. During the winter, it's brown and dry grass. That's best you can describe it. But amazing. The night sky is amazing. It's just full of stars. There's less humidity in the air. I don't get so much light reflection from the towns nearby. Hey guys, it's just me. Calm down. Anyway, my two dogs barking at me. Like, hey, you might live here, but we're still gonna bark at you. Alright, anyways. I have bought me 54 2x4s by like 9 feet. And four, count them, 4 80-pound bags of cement. Got my cans all stashed up here, trying to keep the sun off of them as much as I can so that when I try to use them for some building, which is when I use them for some building material, probably like shingles and maybe some pieces to like a thermal heater for doing hot water, that kind of thing. Anyway, here's a pile of stuff. Got them up on boards, trying to keep the moisture out of the bags. There's cement here. I'm hoping to start using them here shortly. And a neighbor came to the realization that doing tiny homes, and I'll show you his, by building sheds and then trying to build your tiny home stuff, you run into basically a huge expense. It's no cheaper than just building a full-size house in the construction costs. Where you save money is if you got good insulation and whoop, my fingers are in the camera there. Good insulation, and your size is small. It requires less heat, well, less energy to heat and cool, if you're going that route. Now, to each their own. That's not necessarily what I want, but he decided he was going to pack up and leave, and he said, hey, you can have these. These are 250-gallon tanks, water tanks, essentially. I'm going to rinse them out. They've had, this one's, they originally had polyform, which is used for cleaning chicken coops and, meat departments and large retail. So I'm going to try to get all this cleaned out. So far it's just like an eye irritation. But we have a health warning of 1 and a PPE of B. So it's not the worst I've seen, but these are 275-gallon tanks, 2 of them. So 550 gallons of, bathing water, and once I get them cleaned out, I should be all right. It should be diluted enough to wash my clothes in, bathe, I don't think it'd be wise to water my dogs with them, but those are a temporary stop for right now. And I was going to use my scythe here. Hey, my scythe, get your own. But I broke the handle, as you can see. I was practicing with it. I broke it on grass. So, luckily, I had a neighbor who's kind enough to let me use his weed eater. And I just whacked down everything as fast as I could. Got it back to him because I never know if I might need to borrow something else from him. It's best to be a neighbor borrows it and brings it back immediately. As soon as they're done with it, then the neighbor that keeps it, he has to come find you. But we were just walking down the trail, and right up there where I'm pointing is where I was going to build the hobbit hole. Not going to work, so I'm going to make a sharp left-hand turn, and I'll probably make this path a little more meanderingly, because I kind of didn't want straight lines. I just wanted to whack this out real quick to get to what I'm working on. Holes, because we're going on stilts. I'm going to use as much 2x4 as I can to build with. Hey, I'm making a video, calm down. Just a couple more minutes. I'll be okay. He wants to play. I'm going to have to play with him here as soon as we're done with this video, and I'm trying to get this uploaded, but it is down to the bedrock, which is about 2 inches under that water. The water's kind of seeping up a little bit here. However, I'm hoping that this will dry out a little bit because it's supposed to be more intermittent out here. Not really a permanent spring. And I've gotten 1, 2, 3 holes dug. A rock for a placer for another hole, and another hole. I'm going to build these on stilts with a 9x9 idea in mind, so it'll be more modular. So if this works and somebody else sees it and decides I'm going to do the same thing, but I want to build a little bit differently, I want to make it instead of 16 feet, I want to make it 32 feet long with a couple of 16-foot sections in it, but mostly just 9. That's fine. They can do that. It's completely modular. You can build it however you want. That's the general idea. It's based off of some of the stuff that Fallout 4 has done. Hey, Beowulf, can you calm down for a second? It's just a deer. Please? I think that deer can take you, buddy. Just bring it down a notch. Anyways, the same was I'm trying to build it modular so that they can be placed together if somebody else decides to build it in the way they want. And like I said, it's going on stilts. So this hole, which is going uphill slightly, it's actually about 19 inches deep. The next one is 17 inches deep, 16 inches deep. And the first one I dug, which I had to get that big rock out, not the pipe, the big rock that the pipe is sitting on. That guy is actually only 15 inches deep. It is all the way down to the bedrock, so I'm kind of expecting it to get a little deeper, but I know what my minimum length is so far. The maximum height above the ground I can do, because this is 15 inches, is 30 inches above ground. A third of your post has to be under the ground. Minimum. As I go down that way, more and more of the posts can go underground, and I can level off the building and it'll be just fine. In fact, it would be overbuilt and over supported, which is better than under supported. With the 2x4s, that means I can use less of them because I'm going down lower on the ground, and my center of gravity for this whole thing is a bit lower. which might come in handy because we during the storms we can get 60 to 90 mile per hour wind, and this platform, which is going to be a 16 by 16, also has to be a windmill and a water catchment system. Although I can't really use those tanks for a water catchment system because I'd have to run pipes like way over there just to get down low enough for it to hold water, and I don't want to walk that far to get water. Seems like a chore. Anyway, probably going to just underhang some water tanks, handmade, and try to do a let's build videos on how to build those and then install them and all that kind of stuff. But this is part one of the house. So on one side, my camper is 7.5 feet wide, and it's about 14 and a half to 15 feet, depending on which tape measure I use. Probably shouldn't have got them so cheap, but you know, details. Anyway, depending on which one it is, it's about 14 to 15 feet. I think I can go a little smaller on that because it's supposed to be a bad weather winter house. If it's storming real bad, I probably don't want to be on the other side of the building where it's more like an outdoor kitchen, an outdoor seating area, that kind of thing. I want the one side of it to be able to be insulated really well, and I figured I could go get the fiberglass stuff, or I can get the aluminum foil and the bubble wrap stuff, or I can just do what the gypsies have done. And I think some of the shepherd wagons have done it also, but they would just put blankets up, wool blankets or blankets, as a form of insulation. Because it's so small, I don't necessarily need that much of a heat source, so maybe a small rocket stove and I'll be all set. Now, like I've said, I've been experimenting around with the videos, trying to make it, trying to make them where you can see me building a little bit, doing that kind of stuff, and not just me talking and pointing out what I've done. We'll continue to work at that and see what I can do to make it a little more interesting. Anyways, since I've gotten these 3 holes here, that's 9 feet, and I got 2 more to dig the centerpiece here. The center hole, it's actually going to have, for the top piece, it's actually going to have 2 of the 2x4s joining up. So I have to make these posts with probably from 2x4s, probably going to put 2 of them together. So they make a somewhat of a 4x4 post, which it doesn't have to be super thick, because even though we're going uphill, the bottom of the house is going to get closer and closer to the ground, going up the hill. It's going to be sticking about 30 inches at the lowest point, which is why I dug there. And facing north, south, east, and west. So it's completely squared up. Well, not completely squared up, but as close as I can get using a cell phone compass app that was free. Should provide excellent view down the valley. And once I get up a little higher, I could see some of the hills way off in the background. I can just barely make out the tops of them. You can't, but I can. I'll have a nice view of the sunset, plus windmill, water catchment system house, and you know, a winter and a summer side. So the only issue I have is right nearby. That's bedrock sticking right out. I don't know if that's just a lump in the bedrock, such as that was a harder section and everything else is kind of eroded down in this direction. We will find out as I dig more of the holes. We'll get our posts set up, and I'll show you everything on how to do that, or how I'm going to do it. And I believe that is it for what's going on right now, other than well, this is Thursday night. I have tried to make a few videos throughout the week, but you know, Beowulf ate my hot dogs one day. that I was cooking, and he drank the water. He denies it and says it was Grendel, but I know it was him. She can't get up that high. He can though. Then I went out to eat, and I got back, and Beowulf decided it was time to run free. So he just pulled himself out of his collar and was running around all over the place, all excited because he's doing something bad. So it's been a little bit of an uphill battle with it. The other one I made was like 20 minutes long, and I'm sorry, it was 25 minutes long. It was too long to have a video. So I'm going to try to keep them a little shorter. I definitely need to work on that because I'm already, almost 16 minutes in on this one. So I'm going to cut it off here. I will be making it shorter videos and try to show a little bit more of what I'm doing and how I'm constructing it. So until next time, remember we are all members of the human race. We should treat each other accordingly.